urinary infections, depression, and fatigue, not to mention vaginal drying and heart problems. Here's everything that happens to your body when you stop having sex. More than half of the people who have periods experience painful ones. If you're one of them, you probably hate them with a vengeance, even more than the nuisance of having a period in the first place. You should know, though, that there are things you can do to lessen the severity of your menstrual cramps, sex being one such way. Why is that? One of the benefits of having orgasms is that they're known to help with cramping. According to Self, orgasms can relieve pain and tension. And Dr. Keisha Gaither, OBGYN and Director of Perinatal Services at NYC Health and Hospitals Lincoln, told Health Digest, "If you're a woman who experiences cramping with menses, regular sexual encounters have been noted to decrease cramping. Orgasms release endorphins, which relax the body. With lack of sex, women may experience an increase in cramping. However, sex isn't the only way to get relief from those painful cramps. Increase endorphins in other ways, like exercising, eating chocolate, or drinking wine."
Love it when we're all in the same cycle. We all get to be passive-aggressive in fights.
If you're lucky enough to experience an orgasm when you have sex, you're reaping multiple benefits, including an increased blood flow to the vaginal area. This is good news for aging women. Estrogen levels drop as women get older, which can cause the vaginal walls to become thinner and less lubricated. Again, OBGYN Dr. Gaither told Health Digest, increased blood flow to the pelvic region, as occurs with sexual arousal, helps to keep the vagina and vulva regions lubricated, supple, and elastic by dousing the region with nutrient-rich oxygenated blood. On the contrary, a lack of intercourse, or the absence of the related stimulation and blood flow, diminishes this occurrence. Dr. Gaither added, so when sex does occur, it can be painful due to the dryness, with an increased risk of vaginal tears due to the thin tissue. It's not only women who experience the consequences of an absent sex life. Men pay a physical price for sexual hiatuses, and the downside for them can be quite serious with their prostate health on the line. Dr. Miles Spar, internist and chief medical officer of Vault Health, told Health Digest, studies have shown a lower risk of prostate cancer from regular ejaculation, at least 21 times a month, versus men who ejaculate 4 to 7 times a month. Men on the lowest end of the scale of ejaculation frequency, 0 to 3 times a month, also had an increased risk of dying from other medical problems. This physiology might be one of the reasons why men have stronger sex drives than women. They think about it more and seek it out more, perhaps because their prostate health depends on it. With cancer on the table, this feels ominous. However, partnered sex isn't the only fix for this. Solo sex works too.
How was that?
It was phenomenal.
The risk of urinary tract infections also decreases without sexual activity. This is because intercourse can add to the spread of bacteria. Dr. Kira Williams, an OBGYN at Penn Medicine, told Prevention, the general motion of sexual intercourse can transfer bacteria from the bowel or vaginal cavity further into the urethra, aka the tube that urine flows out of. So if you're someone who suffers from frequent UTIs, you'll be happy to know that this is one beneficial consequence to a sexual hiatus that you can feel good about. You just might find yourself experiencing fewer of these infections and subsequently avoiding the unpleasant and uncomfortable symptoms that accompany them. Move over, vitamin C. There's another player in the immune support system that is taking center stage. According to WebMD, weekly sex boosts your immune system by raising your levels of a germ-fighting substance called immunoglobulin A, or IgA. Dr. Carl Charnetsky, professor at Wilkes University, told New Scientist, IgA is the first line of defense against colds and flu. Unfortunately, if you are taking a break from sex, you might just be more susceptible to a cold or flu. According to Men's Health, people in the aforementioned study who had sex once or twice per week enjoyed a 30% boost in IgA compared with those who seldom or never had sex. If you've stopped having sex for the foreseeable future, try not to worry. You can look to more traditional ways of boosting your immune system, like loading up on nutrient-rich foods. Ever have one of those days when your back started hurting the moment you woke up? It's hard to think about anything else when your muscles are misbehaving and causing you grief. And if you're in the midst of a sexual drought, you may find those typical aches and pains to be worse than usual. Melissa Gentry, sex, relationship, and intimacy coach and CEO of Healing the Love, told Health Digest, sex is a natural painkiller. Sex increases our serotonin and dopamine, feel-good neurotransmitters responsible for feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. During sex, we release endorphins, feel-good hormones that activate the opioid receptors in the brain that can help us reduce pain and stress. Of course, there are ways other than sex to boost your endorphins. Exercise, for one, can definitely help alleviate some aches and pains. There's a strong connection between sex and sleep. Often, fatigue is a big hurdle in a relationship, hindering one's libido and overall interest in sex. And at least one study showed that the longer an individual sleeps, the greater their sexual desire is the next day. But the relationship between sex and sleep isn't a one-way street. Sex can actually help you sleep, and it can improve the quality of sleep you get. According to The Independent, lovemaking has a sedative effect. So if you're used to that level of rest, you might be missing it once you stop having sex, as your body is no longer getting the endorphins that led to deep rest and relaxation. If you are tossing and turning more than usual, you should try to avoid caffeine, nicotine, or alcohol close to bedtime. You should also avoid exercising late at night and consider meditation to ease you into sleep, helping you get the rest you need. And if you're worried that no matter what you do, even meditation won't help you to fall asleep, no worries. There are plenty of calming apps that can help you to relax your mind and body.
I'm not having sex. I barely even thought about sex since my marriage.
Could your lack of energy and motivation stem from a lack of sex? Definitely, especially if there's been a change from your usual level of sexual activity. Those who refrain from sex may experience sluggishness. As sex provides mood-elevating endorphins, it's no wonder people might feel sluggish and less energetic. Perhaps the fix is to up that sexual activity level, adding a little morning glory to your routine. A California-based endocrinologist and metabolic specialist told Forbes, if women start their day with sex, from a hormonal perspective, they'll be much more energetic. It invigorates people. Looking for a different fix? Making changes to your diet is a great way to boost your energy and motivation. Look for healthy, whole foods and go easy on the carbs. You might find that if you eat right, you'll be motivated to get out there and exercise, which is yet another plus for your body. While sex can vary from light cardiovascular exercise to an intense sweat session, having sex burns 5 calories per minute on average. Melissa Gentry, sex, relationship, and intimacy coach and CEO of Healing the Love, told Health Digest, physically, sex can help us stay in shape, burn calories, and lower blood pressure. This cardiovascular exercise can help keep both your physical and emotional heart healthy. Research studies show that people who have sex only once a month or less have heart disease complications more often than people that have sex twice a week or more. In fact, a 2019 study in the American Journal of Medicine found that people were more likely to survive a heart attack if they had sex at least once a week. So what is someone in a sexual drought to do? You can up your cardiovascular health through diet and a cardio fitness plan. You are capable of getting your blood pumping one way or another. A healthy sex life can help with both your physical and emotional health. Melissa Gentry, sex, relationship, and intimacy coach, told Health Digest that not having sex can cause someone to have higher stress levels, which can lead to feeling on edge. For one, during sexual arousal and intercourse, our bodies release oxytocin, the so-called love hormone. Additionally, sex can help our bodies regulate levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. She said, when we have sex, there are many benefits to our neuropsychological health. By lowering our stress and increasing our feel-good hormones, we create a recipe for a calm mind. It stands to reason that without an active sex life, our minds might race and we might feel more stressed than usual. There are things you can do to help mitigate the feelings of such anxiety. As mentioned, exercise, meditation are great options, but if your anxiety feels out of control, consider consulting a healthcare professional. You're worth it. There's no denying the mind-body connection. Interestingly, one animal study has shown that sex can improve brain function and grow brain cells, and when a withdrawal period was introduced, the cognitive improvements were lost. Dr. Lauren Stryker, OBGYN, told Business Insider, this goes under the heading of interesting preliminary research but proves nothing. However, other research has shown that people who have sex more often have better recall and improved memory. Fortunately, there are things you can do to boost cognitive function if you are in a sexual dry spell. Consider playing brain training games or meditate, and aim to get enough sleep, according to Psychology Today. Better yet, do them all. The clinical director of the Memory Disorders Assessment Clinic at Harvard-affiliated McLean Hospital told Harvard Men's Health Watch, don't just focus on one new thing either. It's just like exercising your muscles. If you only do bicep curls, your arms will get stronger, but your legs won't. It's possible that your time away from sex has had an impact on your sex drive. Dr. Christine Greaves, a board-certified OBGYN, says your libido may be lower in the absence of sex. However, this issue can reverse itself. After you've gotten back in the saddle, so to speak, your sex drive will likely return to normal. However, going periods of time without sex can cause natural lubrication problems for women. Vaginal dryness, a common symptom of menopause, is worsened by vaginal atrophy. This can make sex painful and unenjoyable. For relief, buy a lubricant or coconut oil if you prefer a natural yet effective option. For men, sexual inactivity has been associated with erectile dysfunction, also known as ED. When you stop having sex, you may notice physical, mental, and emotional changes to your own body, but you may not be the only one affected. A sexual hiatus can also take a toll on your partnership if you're in one, and it's all connected. The health of one's relationship can affect one's physical health. Amanda Gesselman, a social psychologist and research scientist at the Kinsey Institute, told Vice, "It's not surprising that when our partner's desire for sex begins to decline, maybe because they're stressed, depressed, or tired, or because the frequency of sex tends to decrease as relationships progress, we interpret that decline as a sign that something is wrong." So, how can you build back up to a healthy sexual relationship in a way that is authentic and without pressure, or ensure you don't want to go down an unhealthy path if something else is in the way of a healthy sex life? Dr. Jill McDivitt, sexologist, sexuality educator, and sexual wellness coach, explained to Health Digest, if you've stopped vaginally penetrative sex, kissing, cuddling, and caressing with a long-term partner can keep the connection going.
I read on Google once that cuddling could cut off the circulation to your heart, so I'm not comfortable with all this.